Welcome back, welcome back. We are going to introduce a gentleman that's waiting patiently in California. He's a writer, producer, director, sound
He's the real deal.
extraordinaire, musician. We're going to introduce Mark Edward Lewis. He's coming to us via Skype from the West Coast. And can you hear us out there, Mark?
I can hear you.
How you doing, sir?
Doing okay.
Good. Now, the film industry is going through some major changes. And do you want to touch on that a little bit about how things are being produced these days?
Yeah, there's a lot of big changes in the film industry. And a lot of it is that unless you've got $50 million and a Marvel kind of franchise behind you, it's really, really difficult to make films. And a lot of people, especially in independent Hollywood, are going to series, like television series. And with the advent of things like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, internet delivery is the thing. And what once used to be considered, oh, well, you make webisodes. Oh, well, that's nothing. Well, it just so happens that webisodes sweep the Emmys every year with shows like House of Cards and, all these kinds of shows. Those are webisodes. They're delivered on the web. You don't turn on the TV and find them on, some network. So everything is moving in that direction as fast as it can, and that's what my production team and I are about, is getting on that train and going.
Now you're basically focused on science fiction, science fantasy, that kind of thing. What's the interest there?
Well, I wouldn't say we're focused on it. It happens to be, we have a slate of 10 series that we're going to be launching. The first one is Blade of Honor. That's our sci-fi series, and of course I love sci-fi anyway. I was the kid at 6 years old in 1977 in Mann's Chinese Theater watching this weird movie that my grandparents took me to, going, what is this movie with this weird yellow text that's going like this? What is that? And then all of a sudden the spaceships come through and you're like, whoa. And then, whatever that is, I got to be a part of that at 6. I was going to be a paleontologist. I had little dinosaurs and everything. And then I was like, no, get rid of all that. Let's do film. Let's get involved.
Wow.
So sci-fi is, kind of my Charlemagne. It's where it feels great. But then the next series after that is a supernatural Western.
Awesome.
The one after that is a period piece in France in 1572, depicting the events around basically what formed the borders of France and all of Europe, which most Americans don't know about, and all the Europeans do. And just, we have a romantic comedy in there. There's a bunch of things that we're basically wanting to create our own channel and building those relationships. And Blade of Honor is our first one, mainly because of the crowdfunding nature of it, where people can donate and, in a sense, put their money where their desire is and say, I want to fund better sci-fi. I want to fund better television, things that I want to watch. If I wanted to watch something, what could I put my money towards? And people don't have to donate tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, they can if they want to, but it's just a few $100 or $50 or something makes a difference. And that's the other side of it, where independent people, that you can still do the standard model and getting money and finding investors and doing, SEC offerings and all that other stuff. Or you can do something like Indiegogo or Kickstarter or something else and, really interface and give a sense of belonging to your fans. And that's what we love to do.
Well, I want to know what the story is, Blade of Honor. I want you to talk a little bit about that.
So the story takes place in the year 2187, and it's been a hard time for the human race. It's been 12 years of war that they've been losing with this alien race called the Kalinar. And our lead character, her name is Arena. She is just an incredibly talented fighter pilot, and she's on board the flagship carrier of the fleet called the Hermes. She's played by Allison Hayslip, who you've probably seen from BattleBots, and she's done a lot of hosting on G4. And the problem, and they hate the Kalinar, the bad guys, because maybe in 12 months it'll be the end of the human race, because it's just not been going so bad. It's not been going very well. She has an experience with one of these Kalinar folks that has her realize that it's all a lie. That all of her military training and the religion that she belongs to, that she believes in, is all been set up to deceive everybody, to give more power to the powerful and keep everybody else down. So she has to then try to enroll everybody else on the carrier and all of her fellow pilots to realize that it's all a lie, which is its
Wow.
own traumatic thing in itself. And they stage a coup and they basically create a little rebellion that turns into not so little and goes from there.
Is this your vision? I mean, did you come up with this or?
My brother and I came up with this idea about 13 years ago. We had it as a 1-hour television series. We pitched it to a few people, and that was at the time when Painkiller Jane, I was actually a little bit before that, but having a female lead in a sci-fi show was like, why would you do that? That's silly.
Yeah.
Why does anybody want empowered females in lead roles in sci-fi? No one wants to see that. And now you're like, well, that's what everybody wants to see with Jessica Jones and Fringe. I mean, just a list of major hit sci-fi with female leads where it's like, women are just as important as men. In fact, it might be more important to tell empowered female character stories where femininity is, and not the femininity, but female values are lifted up and saying, look, women are heroes. They birthed you. That's heroic in itself.
That's right.
So
where are you on the production? Are you completely finished with principal filming, or I know you're in the middle of a Kickstarter. So how do you want our viewers
we shot
to?
a promo, and that's you can see it there on the Kickstarter page, and we are funding to get the various episodes funded. And it's kind of redundancy from the redundancy department. We're funding to get funded. So the principal photography will most likely happen in a couple of months. Obviously, it takes Kickstarter a while to finish its thing and then get us the money. And then we have to do pre-production and all that other stuff. So.
Well, you mentioned the trailer. We have the promo trailer here. If you want to just take 2 minutes, we'll let the production department back there flip the switches, and we'll take a look at that real quick.
Hit it.
Defy you with every drop of our blood. We have sacrificed more than we can ever gain.
We may, in fact, lose this war.
But you will drown in our passion.
And we will be the last souls fighting. This war will kill us all.
But we will not go quietly. Nor without honor.
Convert, not kill. Desecrate, not fear. Betray, not avenge.
Mark, the production value is awesome. I mean, it ranks up there with the best.
Thank you.
And then I've noticed if people are very familiar with the sci-fi world, they saw some familiar faces that are in the cast. You want to talk about Tim Russ and Brandon Stacy?
Yep, Tim Russ. There he is. Star Trek Voyager. Brandon Stacy, who you also saw there. He hates this, that people say he looks like Zachary Quinto. I think Zachary Quinto looks like Brandon Stacy. But he's from, he was actually Zach's stand-in on all the Star Trek movies and the latest JJ ones. And then, of course, Brandon is Spock in Star Trek New Voyages.
Right.
We've also got Richard Hatch, who is not in, he was just recently cast since we shot that. Richard Hatch from Battlestar Galactica, who plays Apollo. Who else do we have that's fun in there? We talked about Allison. We've got Rivka Ravenwood, who was also from Star Trek New Voyages. Jodie Bentley from it's a fun cast of really great people.
Well, we want to direct people to the Kickstarter campaign. You touched on that a little bit. It's basically a way to have a say-so, or not a say-so, but more or less a connection with the production. And I guess there are different levels of support, and you can donate as little as $1, I would imagine, or up to thousands.
And if you donate, you can come to set, and you'll sit down and have lunch with Richard Hatch and Tim Russ, or just hang out for 3 days. If you at certain levels, you can be in it, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because somebody already donated for that. So, and lots of other kinds of fun things. Signed cast pictures. Also, Jennifer Nash is involved. If you know her, for those of you who are Star Trek New Voyages, everybody's favorite episode is called Inner Light, where Picard lives a whole nother life, and he learns how to play the tin whistle. His daughter is in that. Maribor is in our cast as Jennifer Nash, so you can meet her, and it's amazing.
Well, you got a lot of work to do, a lot of episodes and different projects to go. We'd like to check up on you every now and then to see how it's going, and our viewers, and hopefully people out on YouTube will take some of this information and check you out and maybe put you over the top. You're halfway in the middle of your campaign now, and
we're almost two-thirds now.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Well, good luck to you, sir, and hopefully we'll see you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Thanks,
you.
Mark. All right, we'd like to thank all the guests been on the show today. Thank you, Ann.
Oh, thank you, Dan.
Coming to work again one more time. We
Sure.
appreciate it very much. And you guys get out and enjoy yourself. Crawdad Days is coming up this weekend, and enjoy the lakes,
It's going
the
to be beautiful
streams,
weather and perfect. So.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you again next time.